There is a moment in time that doesn't appear on any calendar, a night so dark it doesn't register in normal memory, a silence so deep even the stars seem to hold their breath. That moment, according to a cryptic passage buried deep within the quatrains of Nostradamus, is tied to what he ominously called la lune noire, the black moon, a celestial sign that few understand and even fewer are prepared for. But in 2025, this ancient prophecy begins to breathe again. A shadow grows in the sky, and the skies above us are no longer just empty space. They are messages, warnings, and perhaps a countdown. In one of his lesser-studied predictions, hidden not in the famous centuries, but in obscure marginal notes believed to have been added by Nostradamus himself, there's a warning that speaks of a sky turned black twice in one season, and none shall rejoice. Many dismiss this as poetic metaphor, a passing line with no anchor in astronomy. But a growing number of researchers believe this line was referring not to an eclipse, but to the phenomenon now known as the Black Moon, a rare lunar event where a second new moon occurs within the same calendar month. While such events are infrequent, in 2025 it returns, and the timing is uncanny. Coupled with global instability, solar flares, geomagnetic anomalies, and rising tides, the Black Moon doesn't just feel symbolic, it feels like an omen. And Nostradamus, who had an obsession with celestial warnings, may have left a key to understanding its true meaning, a meaning deliberately obscured for centuries. Most people think of time as a straight line, divided into days, weeks, and months. But those who studied the heavens in ancient times saw time not in numbers, but in shadows and light. The lunar calendar, long abandoned by the modern world, told a different story, one that included rare phenomena like blood moons, wolf moons, and, yes, black moons. The Black Moon, in particular, was seen as a period of hidden transitions, of power shifting hands behind closed doors. It was a time when the veil between what is seen and what is hidden grew thin. When Nostradamus referred to a great change beneath the night of no return, some believe he wasn't speaking of political revolution, but of a planetary shift invisible to the untrained eye. In 2025, the Black Moon returns not once, but as part of a strange and complex lunar sequence, echoing celestial alignments from centuries past, alignments that were followed by plague, war, and upheaval. Coincidence? Or cosmic clockwork? There's something deeply unsettling about the way history echoes through the stars. Just as in 1625, a year of famine, economic collapse, and the rise of shadow empires, 2025 carries eerily similar markers. Nostradamus once wrote of the skies, reflecting the truth of the earth. And many now believe he was describing the strange mirrored events between certain historical epochs. He spoke of a darkness doubled in the turning of the month, which modern translators now equate with a dual new moon, what we now label a black moon. But he wasn't just looking at the calendar. Nostradamus was trying to warn us that during this period, a false light would rise, a deception masked as revelation, spreading through screens, broadcasts, and voices that lull the public into forgetting what they once knew. If the Black Moon is a celestial marker, then what it marks is a time when lies become indistinguishable from truth, and only those who have awakened to the shadows will see clearly. Much has been said about Nostradamus' connection to alchemy, but few really understand what that truly meant. He wasn't just turning lead into gold, he was trying to transmute time, decode fate, and decipher the cycles that trap humanity. The Black Moon according to some secret interpretations of his work, was not merely an astronomical event, but an alchemical symbol. The union of darkness and renewal, a void that conceals transformation. In several rare manuscripts attributed to his students, the Black Moon is linked to the rise of the hidden king, born beneath the moon that is not seen. This cryptic line has sparked endless speculation. Who is this hidden figure? A political messiah? A destroyer? Or is it symbolic of an entire movement? An awakening of people who will no longer serve false powers? In 2025, with the rise of artificial intelligence, synthetic consciousness, and untraceable digital control, some say the hidden king has already arrived, but not in the form we expected. If you've been feeling drained, distracted, or disoriented lately, it might not just be stress. It could be the frequency shift many warned about. Nostradamus described a tremor that touches no stone, yet shakes every heart. That strange line puzzled historians for centuries, but in recent years, the idea of invisible warfare, frequencies, waves, and signals used to influence thought, has moved from science fiction to documented fact. And during the Black Moon period of 2025, we enter what some call the war of the invisible. Governments, corporations, and unknown forces all vying for control of perception itself. The moon, always linked to emotion, memory, and the tides of the human psyche, becomes a battleground. The Black Moon may amplify more than tides. It may heighten the psychic noise to unbearable levels. Nostradamus's cryptic phrase, "When the sky has no witness, the war will begin within," could be his way of telling us that the final battlefield isn't on land, but in the mind. What most people don't realize is that 2025 is a year of overlapping shadows. Not only does the Black Moon occur, but it is bracketed by two eclipses, one solar, one lunar, each falling unnervingly close to historical anniversaries of catastrophic events. Nostradamus once warned of a wheel within a wheel, where the moon swallows the sun and silence walks the streets. Scholars have long debated this, but many now believe it refers to a rare celestial timing when both the Black Moon and a solar eclipse fall within the same season. According to ancient star priests and modern astrologers alike, this combination doesn't just signal change, it rips the veil between timelines. The ancients feared eclipses because they believed they warped destiny. The Black Moon, placed between two eclipses, may act as a pivot point, reversing fates, collapsing illusions, and accelerating long-prophesied collapses. Could 2025 be the hidden year Nostradamus never dared write directly? A year encoded not in numbers, but in darkness itself. In one passage, Nostradamus mentions, "A city lit with false fire shall fall when the moon forgets her face." For centuries, this was thought to be metaphorical until now. In the year 2025, during the second new moon of the month, a major metropolitan region, speculated by some to be either New York, Dubai, or London, is aligned directly beneath the darkest point of the Black Moon's path. But you know, it's not the physical darkness that matters, it's the energetic signature, the symbolic blackout of clarity. Cities, after all, are where light is constant and shadows are banished. But the Black Moon is about shadows returning. Power outages, sudden revelations, mass confusion. These are not wild predictions, but patterns that recur during certain cosmic alignments. Nostradamus' phrase, "When the towers cast no shadow at midday," begins to make eerie sense when we remember the technology itself may be the false fire he referenced. A city so reliant on screens and grids may become the first to fall, not through war, but through blindness. Tucked away in one of the most enigmatic quatrains, Nostradamus mentions, "The serpent returns when the moon is lost, and the watchers blink." Modern interpretations tie this to the reappearance of a long-lost celestial body, possibly a comet or something stranger. Some fringe theorists, backed by ancient Babylonian and Mayan alignments, believe the Black Moon of 2025 coincides with the brief visibility of an interstellar object, a rogue body, perhaps what ancient texts refer to as Nibiru or the Destroyer. While mainstream science denies its existence, NASA's own records show unexplained disturbances in deep space trajectories around this period. Whether symbolic or literal, the serpent star seems to herald an awakening, not of peace, but of truth. An uncomfortable truth that many are not ready to face. In the words of Nostradamus, "The heavens shall send a stranger that none may name, and it shall pass with fire in its wake." Is the Black Moon simply the signal flare before this silent visitor arrives? Few know that Nostradamus spent time in secret monasteries, often in the company of mystics and astronomers considered heretical by the church. In letters never published during his lifetime, kept in hiding until the 19th century, he writes of a veil of mourning cast by the hidden moon, after which only the awakened shall see the true sun. These were not the words of a casual poet. They were warnings, encoded to survive time and censorship. In 2025, a global movement seems to echo these words. People from every continent report dreams, synchronicities, and emotional upheavals they can't explain. Many feel they are being called to something, though they don't yet know what. Could this be what Nostradamus foresaw? A mass, decentralized spiritual shift timed to the reawakening triggered by celestial alignments. He may have known the stars would become our last teachers when all human institutions began to crumble. Most people, focus on war as something loud, something televised. But Nostradamus hinted at another kind, a war of breath, unseen and mind-bound. In modern terms, honestly, it sounds eerily like a war of information, of consciousness, of engineered perception. He predicted that under the blackened sky, two worlds shall divide, though they walk the same earth. In 2025, that prophecy hits really close to home. More than ever, people live in different realities, split not by geography, but by beliefs, narratives, and what they choose to perceive. The Black Moon, in this interpretation, marks the final divergence, a moment where timelines fracture. One world moves toward artificial unity, under control, and the other moves toward uncomfortable but liberating awareness. The war, then, is not to defeat an enemy, but to choose a path. Which reality will you serve? Nostradamus never offered an answer. He only warned that the choice would be irreversible. Like the moon itself, what's hidden will define what comes next. There is a moment in the writings of Nostradamus so chilling that even his followers rarely speak of it. It reads, "When the childless moon cries, blood shall fall where snow once lay." Interpretations vary, but many believe this is a metaphor for an unexpected, unnatural event, possibly in the polar regions or in locations traditionally considered stable. 2025 may see strange environmental disturbances, including seismic or volcanic activity, in regions once considered dormant. But more troubling is the emotional and symbolic resonance. The Black Moon is the childless moon, a moon that brings no visible reflection, and a cry could symbolize a piercing event, perhaps a sound or signal that precedes disaster. Could this be related to harp-like frequencies, or even cosmic phenomena like gamma-ray bursts? Or is it psychological, a collective panic triggered by a celestial event? The truth remains shrouded, but one thing is certain. When the moon goes dark, something else tries to speak, and the voice may not be one we recognize. Buried in the final stanza of Century 6, Quatrain 81, Nostradamus refers to a king without name, who speaks no words, crowned beneath the dark sky. For centuries, this cryptic figure, often called Le Roi Silencieux, or the Silent King, has puzzled interpreters. Who is this ruler of shadows, this voiceless monarch born under the blackened moon? Some say he is a symbol of the Antichrist, not in religious form, but as a concept, an entity or influence that leads not by command, but by silence and absence. Others believe the Silent King is the embodiment of artificial intelligence, a faceless power quietly rising, replacing decision-making, culture, and even memory. The Black Moon of 2025, appearing when digital governance systems begin to take control over courts, currencies, and conflict, may herald his arrival. Not through war, not through fanfare, but through the slow vanishing of human will. Nostradamus warned, "None shall hear him enter, but all shall feel the chains." If this is the Silent King, then the age of flesh may already be over, and few have even noticed. It is one of Nostradamus's most disturbing images. And lo, the dawn shall rise, but the moon remain unfound, and none shall know the day from night. A poetic flourish, perhaps. Or, maybe a warning of a future where clarity, both physical and spiritual, is lost. In 2025, the moonless dawn becomes more than just a metaphor. In the days surrounding the Black Moon, certain regions may experience atmospheric anomalies, strange twilight effects, auroras in latitudes where they don't belong, and electromagnetic pulses that confuse even satellites. More than a loss of moonlight, this may symbolize a deeper eclipse of perception. Artificial sky filters, solar shielding projects, and even the manipulation of weather through geoengineering are no longer theories. They're realities shaping the way we experience the world. A dawn without a moon is a world where nature no longer guides us, where cycles are broken. This moonless dawn could signal not just the loss of our moon's visibility, but the loss of our place in the natural order. In a seldom cited passage from a fragmented manuscript attributed to a follower of Nostradamus, we find reference to 7 shadows cast from the moon's retreat, each bearing a test for mankind. Scholars have debated what these shadows mean, and whether Nostradamus ever truly endorsed this vision. Yet many believe these 7 trials represent a period of rapid global initiation. Social, economic, technological, spiritual, and environmental shifts occurring all at once. In 2025, we are already seeing them. Mass migration, AI expansion, economic realignment, collapsing institutions, climate disruption, digital surveillance, and the war for the human soul. Each one a shadow, each one a trial. And under the Black Moon, these trials are said to converge. Nostradamus may have encoded these trials, not in order, but in experience, where each individual is forced to confront their own illusion. The question is, how many will pass through all 7 with their spirit intact? There is a moment of haunting beauty in Nostradamus's writing, where he suggests that the Earth will, at last, forget her oldest companion, that the moon, constant throughout our history, will vanish, not physically, but symbolically. In a world so saturated with screens, distractions, and artificial light, few even look up anymore, and yet the moon watches, or perhaps it used to. As the black moon rises in 2025, we are reminded of what we've forgotten: the rhythm of tides, the balance of cycles, the gravity that once held us in harmony. Could this prophecy be less about an astronomical event and more about our spiritual disconnection? In his time, Nostradamus saw a humanity tied to nature. In our time, we're severed from it, adrift in digital illusions. The black moon becomes the final mirror, forcing us to see how far we've drifted. And for those who dare to remember what the moon meant, it becomes a call home. Some of the most mysterious writings of Nostradamus weren't in quatrains at all, but in circular diagrams drawn in the margins of his journals. One such drawing depicts concentric rings beneath the surface of the Earth, with a black orb at the center. Some researchers believe this symbol represents the underworld, not in the religious sense, but in the energetic or metaphysical. A hidden network of ancient knowledge or power beneath our feet, only accessible during certain celestial alignments. The black moon, recurring in alignment with a rare planetary conjunction in 2025, may activate these long-dormant forces. Strange vibrations, electromagnetic pulses, and even awakenings of intuition or memory may intensify during this time. In tribal legends around the world, this period is seen as the moment the Earth speaks again, the return of the circle beneath. Nostradamus, always cautious about direct naming, simply called it the rumble from below that precedes the whisper above. Are we entering that moment? After centuries of study, there remains one Nostradamus quatrain that still defies translation. It is broken, fragmented, and appears to mix French, Latin, Greek, and what some claim is a form of encoded Hebrew. But within this riddle is a repeated reference to Lunar, the dead moon. Some believe this cipher, when decoded, will reveal not just a date, but a map. A celestial and earthly alignment that only appears once every 500 years. A time when what is hidden becomes visible to those who are ready. Some say this map leads to a physical place, a sanctuary, a library of forgotten knowledge. Others claim it's an internal path, a psychic unlocking of dormant abilities seeded in humanity long ago. But all agree. The cipher ends with 2025, the year of the black moon. As the black moon of 2025 approaches, the world grows stranger by the day. Time accelerates, memories fade, but the prophecies remain. Etched in books, whispered through generations, and now blinking on our screens. Nostradamus tried to warn us, not to terrify, but to prepare. The skies are not just empty, they are ancient scrolls, written in starlight and shadow. And now, as the moon prepares to vanish once more, we must decide what we believe, what we remember, and what we will carry forward. If this message reached you, if something stirred in you while watching, then like, share, and subscribe before the veil falls again. Consider joining the channel to support the ongoing search for hidden truths. And if you feel this message matters, send a super thanks to help us keep decoding what others fear to speak. This is the interconnected zone. And sometimes what's written in the skies is more real than what we see on the ground. Until next time, keep looking up.